When can we speak of a war crime? US President Joe Biden and other international leaders have stated that Russia and its president, Vladimir Putin, committed war crimes during Russia's conflict with Ukraine. But what exactly constitutes a war crime? And how does the international community assess guilt or innocence? Welcome back to Life and Emotions Explained, beautiful people. So in this video, we'll go over all there is to know about war crimes. But first, be sure to help the channel out and tap the subscribe button for more informative videos like this. What is a war crime? A war crime violates both international and customary laws governing war and military action. The International Criminal Court's (ICC) Rome Statute defines war crimes as grave breaches of the Geneva Conventions of August 12, 1949, which include torture, willfully causing great suffering and bodily harm, and widespread destruction and appropriation of property that is not justified by military necessity. The Geneva Conventions were established to defend civilians and non-combatants in particular. The conventions also govern the care of ill and wounded soldiers, health care and the repatriation of prisoners of war, and the protection of hospitals. It is worth noting that they don't use the word war crime, but rather put forth measures for ethical and moral behavior during combat. Here is an example of a war crime: the Holocaust. It is often regarded as the most heinous and horrible incident in global history. The final solution of Nazi Germany and its commander, Adolf Hitler, during World War II was to ruthlessly exterminate Jews, gypsies, homosexuals, and others. The Holocaust was simply one of many heinous war crimes committed during World War II, but with over 6 million Jews imprisoned, tortured, and executed, it really stands out among all other crimes in the annals of tragedy. Torture camps like Dachau, Auschwitz, and Treblinka house some of the world's most wicked human rights atrocities. Their names continue to serve as a reminder of the actual horrors of war and humanity's capacity for evil. Now, the question is Russia committing genocide against Ukraine? Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, its troops have besieged an increasing number of civilian targets through airstrikes and artillery, prompting fears of war crimes. According to Amnesty International, Russia's military is carrying out indiscriminate assaults in Ukraine. And most recently, when the Russian army launched attacks on Kharkiv's Freedom Square, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called Russia's missile strikes in civilian areas war crimes. So yes, President Biden claims that Russia has committed genocide in Ukraine. Genocide is defined in the 1948 Convention to Prevent and Punish the Crime of Genocide. These acts can be any of the following: exterminating a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group, wiping out a nation's entire population, annihilating its political, economic, social, cultural, or political institutions, or destroying vital infrastructure. In an interview with reporters, Biden stated, "Yes, I called it genocide because it's gotten more and clearer that Putin is really attempting to wipe away even the notion of being Ukrainian, and the evidence is piling." So, while genocide is clearly defined, whether Russia's actions in Ukraine are genocide is dependent on Moscow's objective, which is impossible to detect, as Putin isn't consistent with his explanation and his war goal. Targeting and even murdering civilians is a war crime, but it would not be considered genocide unless there was evidence of a plan to deliberately wipe out the Ukrainian people. In conclusion, morally, we can all regard this as a genocide, and therefore, this is undoubtedly a war crime. Can a war exist without committing war crimes? Whether international or non-international, war must always occur during an armed confrontation. As a result, the answer is no. A war clearly displays the death of innocent people, the uncontrollable onslaught of opposing forces, genocide, sexual assault, and many other things. That concludes this video. I hope you learned something about war crimes. Let's all hope for a better and peaceful future. Thank you. Be safe out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.